Hey, welcome to the only podcast that loves you more than you love yourself. I'm Travis, and I'm here with Jen.
Hi, everybody.
We are back in our own abodes. That's a special way of saying homes.
Homes. Yeah.
Home. We're back home, which is, cool. And I think it was cooler when we were hanging out in person, though.
I think it was. I think we should do it again. I am like pumped on my cozy little new corner, but the studio vibe was like unmatched.
Yeah, I agree. And we had a great time. Even afterwards, we got something to eat, which was cool. This little place across the street, which was really fun. And I agree. I think we will do it again very soon. So keep an eye out for that. If you're new here, welcome to the only podcast in the world that is about candy and growing your YouTube channel all at the same time. I mean, almost literally. My name is Travis, and Jen is here, and we just talk about how to grow your channel and then various random things. If you want to leave us a message, you can do so. If you're listening to the audio podcast, you'll see a link in there that gives you a chance to text message us, or you can email us at theboost@vidIQ.com, where we answer your questions, which we will be doing today. However, it's funny, right before we went on the air, I was talking to Jen about one of the upcoming videos she has that's coming out on the main channel. I guess I might be having a little spot in it as well. And
it's true. Travis does have a little, I don't even want to give it away. We'll just say cameo.
We'll just say
cameo.
Yeah. And some of the other podcast favorite listeners, John, I think, will be in it as well, which is fun. So what has it been like so far to be on the main channel with your own video ideas and your own videos? Like, you've already had one that was released. The thumbnail was fire. I thought it was great. I loved it. What has that process been like for you so far?
It's been really interesting. I feel I have to keep reminding myself, like, this is a new job. Like, this is a new position. Like, I'm in an entirely new department working with everybody is new. Like, there's no crossover from my last position. And it's weird to face, some of the things that are easy to overlook in terms of being a creator. But like, now this is a job. Like, this is a full-time job. Like, I have, responsibilities in ways that I want to prove myself, in ways that I want to establish myself on the main channel. And like, also just like show up and be like, I promise I'm good at my job.
I swear I am. I promise you.
But then there's also pressures that come in with like the YouTube thing. Like, Travis and I were just talking about, like, I re-recorded a video 3 times. And I'll be the first person to tell you, like, don't even re-record it. I mean, re-record it if you have to.
Right.
But 3 times.
Wow. That's a lot.
Embarrassing.
I think the only time I've ever had to record something 3 times is when there was a technical issue, like the audio didn't record or the video went out of sync or something.
That's what I'm saying. I would like tell people, like, no, unless there was like literally something wrong with it, I'm sure it's fine. Grow past it.
Yeah. I agree.
Which I would.
I hate, but inevitably, and this tends to be true, the last time you do it ends up being the best time. Like, because you've done it so many times.
It was the best.
Was it?
Like, I had the script, like, very, very easily memorized. And of course, that's something that I'm working on. And it was, I just didn't like the first 2 editions. And I rewrote the script every time I rewrote or redid the video because it just didn't feel right. And like I get, you still have to kind of go with those creative instincts too, where I'm like, I just don't think this is at the level that I want it to be at. And no outside pressure coming in being like, hey, you need to redo that. I was just like, no, this is me trying to get better at what I'm doing, trying to be really happy with what I'm at, even though I do need to remember, like, that this is new.
Right, of course. Give yourself some grace, yes.
I know, I have to talk myself back down, but crazy.
Well, I think that actually lends itself to some advice to creators, because this is something that goes along with what you're trying to accomplish at the end goal, right? Like, what is the end goal? So the end goal for this podcast specifically is to help creators and kind of give you a new outlet and a new community to hang out with people, like-minded people, and just have fun. Like, that's what this is all about. Learning along the way and having a community that we can all get along with, and y'all do that. Speaking of community, ironically, our first kind of comment comes in from a text message. And by the way, we got a lot of text messages and emails since the last time we were live. Actually, the last time you and I were in person. So I just want to say that we're going to be behind on some of these. So over the next couple of weeks, we might not even get to all of them. But if you send in a message and you're like, oh, this is a really good question, I really want to know this, you might actually have to wait a couple of episodes because we're probably going to do some of them in person, which will be, I think it'll be even more fun. Yeah. So don't worry if you send it in and you're like, this is a really important question. I haven't heard it. It's been 3 episodes. Don't worry. If it's good, we're going to get to it. So the first one is, how do we get to the Discord for the vidIQ community? This is great because one of the things Jen and I are doing is once a month, we're going there recording episodes and talking to you listeners. Hello.
Back and forth. So fun.
That was so much fun. And you can ask us questions directly. Now, the link for the Discord is actually in the show notes and in the description for the video, so you can't miss it. Apparently this person missed it. I don't know how they missed it because the link to send the text message is just a little bit above the link for the Discord. But what is Discord? Some people don't know. You could say it's software, but really you can use it in a browser as well, where people chat and everything. And the vidIQ community is really cool because it actually has a group of creators that all want to grow at the same time. And there's a lot of really smart people in there that can help you 24/7. There's people in there all the time. And we have our own little channel for the podcast where we go in there and we chit chat and we share memes.
It's just fun to have creator friends too, like other people that just get it.
Yes. And I think that's something that I've said this before, I think on this show, one of the reasons that this thing even exists is because of that exact thing. I had that coming up in a Discord with other friends, creator friends. I thought it was such an important part of my journey that I wanted other people to have that same experience. And now you can have it. And like I said, Jen and I go in there and we're going to do an episode. I think we're recording it in a week or so, but by the time you hear this, probably the same week. You just got to be in there. Who knows? You just got to be in there all the time. And then we'll just pop up and be like, hey, we're recording an episode. Come ask us questions.
Plus, you never know. We're going to pop in and do all kinds of stuff.
Shenanigans, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
First email of the week from Connor. Hey, Tren. It's Connor.
Oh my gosh, 2 N's too.
Two N's. It's got to be, right? Because, Jen
I
with
know.
2 N's.
Yeah, it's so funny though. Like it just makes sense.
It's the best of all
Way to go,
worlds.
Connor. We're impressed already.
From the windy city of Chicago. I've never been to Chicago. I've always wanted to go. The pizzas sound amazing. Before we get to my question, I just need to say, after hearing you guys talk about candy corn, I had to chime in. I remember the night of Halloween when I would try to get as much candy corn as possible is by far the best candy.
I see. I knew I loved Connor.
Nah, bro, that's not it. Okay, time for my question. I have a bird channel, just like my friend who actually just emailed recently. I think that sounds vaguely familiar. Someone.
Oh my gosh, let's go.
I'm using his computer, so don't tell him. What?
This is getting sketch.
This is very sketch. Very sus right now. And I post funny clips that are mainly shorts. Unlike my friend, I have 200 subs when he only has 95. Wow. And you're using his computer? Hello. I have started to try to do more long form content recently, and I'm only doing it so I can get closer to monetization. My main goal on YouTube is to make money in the next year, and I think 4,000 watch hours will be easier than 10 million shorts views. I agree with this. I personally agree with that statement. Mm-hmm. Am I wrong? I don't know. Is there a way to make shorts more viral, since I always get between 1,000 and 6,000 views per short, and I don't think I can post more. I can post 10 shorts a day as I already have a full-time job. First of all, 1,000 to 6,000 views for short is great. Like that's for 200 subscribers. That's crazy. And more than trying to help you with like how to make your shorts better, we need to go back to, remember the 50 views thing we did a couple weeks or whatever, and people loved that episode. 6,000 views on a short is very difficult. It's hard for people who are new to YouTube to understand what that actually means and how hard that is to get. You also have to remember the way they're counting shorts now is different. So that's the other thing. Oh my
gosh, that's right.
I was reminded of this when I recently uploaded a short on this channel, and it was like, hey, it's like a 1 out of 10. I'm like, but it tells you, but we count shorts differently.
But,
and we talked about this whole thing about what's the number doing. It's making you feel better about yourself. But regardless, 6,000, whether it's the quote engaged views or whatever the views are.
Well, it'll be the new normal now, so it'll be easy for them to compare.
Yeah, at some point, it'll all be the same. But regardless, that's a lot. And you have to understand that like getting a whole bunch of tens of thousands or millions of views on a short is just, it's the top of the top of the top percentage. You just don't see it very often. Does it mean it won't happen to you? No, you might get one that pops off or whatever, and it could be great. But the normal reality that most people experience isn't even what you're seeing. It's less than what you're seeing. It's hundreds of views.
No, it's so hard for creators to see this though. Like so hard.
Yeah.
All they can focus in a lot of the time is just the big views.
Yeah. I need to get a shirt that says 50 views is amazing and just like have it really cool design and have it badass and whatnot. Yeah. Because again, I don't want to say that you should only be shooting for low views. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is when you get something like that, I think it's just hard for people to understand that that's a lot. 6,000 on a short, especially consistently, is a lot. 1,000, it doesn't matter if you're getting 2,000, whatever. That's a lot. And a tremendous amount of creators out there are not even getting that many. So you're already succeeding. If you continue to do it, it could continue to get bigger. It just depends on what you're doing. So I wouldn't say that we have like, here, this is how you get more views. I'd say you're actually getting a lot already. For 200 subscribers, you shouldn't be even averaging that many. So you're already winning.
Plus, there is no like secret hack to YouTube like that. There's nothing that we could be like, here's the most magical thing that's going to make you all the money in the world. It's just not how YouTube works. I
mean, if it did, I would be doing it first before I told anybody.
If it did, we'd have one episode here and it would the end. Everybody would be a YouTube millionaire.
That would be it. Like, yeah, this is the only episode you will ever see from us. And congratulations, we're all rich now. Don't think that is the episode.
Does it work like that? Why did they want short strategy if they didn't even want to get monetized on shorts?
That's what I'm also asking. Like, so why? Yeah, I think they were asking, well, does it make sense? Yes, I think it makes sense to do longer form content if you're trying to get monetized because the watch hours would be a little easier than 10 million views in like 90 days.
Focus on the content, not the views. Focus on the views. You can make bad content.
Look, you mic dropping over here. We just got started.
Sorry.
What's wrong with you, Mike? What are you mic dropping for? What's wrong with you?
Sorry.
All right, let's get this one Connor. Connor just got mic dropped. All right. Hey, Jen and Travis. I wanted to send this along to the vidIQ crew. I saw this on my YouTube app the other day, and it was gone in a couple seconds, and I had to refresh later, so I created a mock-up, which is not in this image, but I'll explain in a minute. Is a world of just thumbnails, no titles, no view count, channel names, or date published. Maybe you guys are aware. I just want to give vidIQ the edge on the update, just in case not. So what this was is an image of, and I've seen this before. I think most of us have seen this. Where you open up the vidIQ app, or not the vidIQ, but the YouTube app, and all you see is thumbnails. Like you don't see the titles. Then you just have to choose the video based on that. Now, this is probably a test that YouTube is rolling out on mobile, because every once in a while they'll test these things. This is something that doesn't surprise me. You've never seen this?
No.
I've seen it once or twice. And they do tests like this all the time. And I've said for a long time, as soon as YouTube can figure out a way to not show view counts, they will. I've said this for years now.
I know. We have talked about this.
And I honestly think it's a good idea. Definitely. And we've had this discussion before. Not everyone agrees with me, but they're wrong. I feel like this would be good for smaller channels, because then you're not competing on did your video only have 13 views? Your video might be the best one on YouTube with 13 views. No one knows. But I thought it was interesting to know channel names or date published and stuff like that, where it's just a thumbnail. I don't know if just a thumbnail makes sense. I think you need to have a title to make this make sense. But they're going to test all of this. They're literally going to test every single way to simplify the choice for a viewer until they perhaps one day make long form just like shorts, where they just throw it in your face and then you swipe. Would that be terrifying or what?
I know. We've talked through so many of these situations, and I feel like my answers stay the same for the most part, but I do feel like with the views showing, like I was very like views should show. And now I'm kind of like, I don't know. I feel like the way I've been watching YouTube recently for like the past several months, like I don't even know sometimes like what the views are on videos. Maybe it's
how
more
important
of like
is that to
a
you?
TV viewing thing where that is less. I think it's actually maybe more the intention of why I'm watching a video, whether I care or not. Like if I'm looking for something, I want credibility behind it. If I'm just browsing, it doesn't matter to me.
So if you're watching on the YouTube channel, you're watching the podcast, you can see it now. I'd put it on screen real quick. This is kind of what he was saying. This is a mock-up of it. It's just these videos. That's it. You don't see anything else.
Interesting. See, I agree. I think you have to have a title. Otherwise, we have to change the way we're doing thumbnails.
Yes, we would have to put more actual text in the thumbnail.
There needs to be more content. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it has to have a title in there, which is like what we try to avoid now so that it complements the title. But I do think there could be a world where that's switched, kind of edited into one.
I'm trying to think of how Netflix does it, because a lot of times Netflix will change the thumbnail of their movies and stuff often, but the layout always changes. They're always trying to optimize to keep people on platform as long as possible. It does seem like if this is something that they're going to do, they are shortifying the selection of long form videos. But this is on phone, I assume, right? Because it looked like the format was on phone.
Even on TV is very similar to Netflix, where they're categorized as you scroll down.
Sure. Yeah, they are. Yes, that's true.
I don't know if it's like that on desktop.
Well, I watch a lot on desktop too. And not like that. So, you know, if I look at mine right now, it is just a bunch of video. I mean, you can see everything. You see the views. You can see when it was uploaded. You definitely get a lot of suggested content. You do get shorts. That's funny. We did get a lot of comments from when you and I were in the studio. We talked about watching shorts on TV. Yeah. And there were comments about people saying, yeah, my kids do watch shorts on TV. Which
I knew it. It's a younger generation thing. Target TV shorts if you're going for... I don't even think it is Gen Z. I don't know what generation.
What is it? I don't even know what they are anymore.
Gen Alpha?
Is that a thing?
I think it. I don't know. Oh my god, did I make that up?
That's gross.
I don't think I made that up.
It might probably true actually. Do I have to Google this now? Is that what's happening?
I don't think I made that up.
Alpha. Oh, it came up.
Okay. Yeah.
Generation Alpha is the generation of people born between 2010 and last year, 2024.
Oh wow. Oh my gosh, we have another generation. Whoa.
Bro, what are we doing? What was the one before Alpha? Where's a list of all the... Is it Gen... So it went from Gen Z to Gen A? Oh, so I just found a chart from Wikipedia. Okay, there's the silent generation, lost generation, which is 1883 to 1900. The greatest GI generation, 1901. I think these are made up. I'm looking at it. It's on Wikipedia. It has to be true. 1901 to 1927, the silent generation from 28 to 45, baby boomers, which is the first one I had ever heard of. I hadn't heard of silent generation. 46 to 64, Generation X, which I guess I had no idea, 65 to 80, millennials, Generation Y is 81 to 96, Zoomers, Generation Z is 97 to 2012, and Alpha is 2013 to mid 20s.
Wait, what's after that? What's in 2025?
Well, so they could still be considered Alpha because technically we're in the middle of the 20s, and they'll probably change it. Why did they do this? Who decides when? Who decides this stuff? I don't know.
I don't know.
I think this is all wacky. I think it's crazy.
Travis just submitted this to Wikipedia.
Bro, I should just make the thing up. I'm saying, what's going on? What's going on?
The fact that you said Zoomer, I'm like, I've never heard that word in my life.
You haven't? I have. I actually have heard
just
that.
Made that up.
No, it's a real word. I've actually heard that. I'm surprised you haven't heard that.
Gen Zoomer?
Gen Zoomer.
Literally, like, that's my dog running around with the Zoomies.
Well, I was just thinking Jenn, Jenn Zoomer. Like, that's your new name. Jenn Zoomer.
That's my superhero name.
Bro, the next time you do a video and you have your name under it, put a Jenn Zoomer
Jenn
on there.
Zoomer.
Oh my God. That's your new last name.
That's so funny.
There's Dr. Savage and Jenn Zoomer.
Oh my gosh. We sound like a Back to the Future couple.
That's so true.
Yes.
Bruh. You're killing me.
Where are we going for Halloween?
Your segue is much better than you think because I'm going to show you something right here. This next screen is an email. So the subject matter said breakfast is served. And again, if you're listening on audio podcast, you're not going to know. You have to see this on the video.
Oh, gosh.
It's this, which is the world's largest Cadbury cream egg. I know you had seen this.
It's like a bathtub.
Yeah, look how big it is. It's so big. I love it. It's so big. I think Cadbury did it.
Are those Cadbury onesies they're wearing?
It's wild,
Let's
right?
get you one of those, Travis.
I would wear it for I don't like Halloween, but I would wear it for Halloween.
Let's get you a purple Cadbury onesie.
I dare you, because I would do it. I would actually wear it. And you think I wouldn't, but I would unironically wear it. with the wrapping paper, how they get the wrapping paper all big and everything like this, and it's just bubbling over, which is kind of wild because I love the Cadbury eggs, but this might actually in person gross me out a little bit because I look at it.
That's
and it's
interesting.
I don't know how I could
get
like
a science experiment. They're gonna crack it open with a hammer, and it's just literally gonna flood out like a volcano.
Yeah, it's it's a delicious treat, but when I look at it like this, it almost kind of grosses me out a little bit.
Things shouldn't be scaled to this size.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Okay, we'll move on from that. The next text message was, "Hi, my channel has been doing really well, and I found out someone was impersonating me.
Oh,
contacting my subscribers, referencing their comments from my page, and trying to sell them a mentorship or other fake email with my name on it. Other than warning my subscribers, posting videos, anything I can do about it. Thanks for all your help." Remember this? Like a year or two ago, this was happening a lot.
Yep.
In people's comments.
Yep.
I think I misunderstood this at first.
Contests, giveaways, like everything.
It was, and I guess continues to be, terrible. And YouTube has been trying to fight it for, at this point, years. So for those who don't know, maybe they're not, either the channel isn't big enough or they haven't seen a channel where this has happened. There's these impersonator scammers that will come into your comment section, make an avatar that looks like your channel, and then say, "Hey, you've won a contest, or contact me here and you can win this." And they pretend to be you. And typically we'll get them on WhatsApp or something like that, and we'll scam them out of money.
Ask for information, yeah.
Yeah. And then eventually like, "Oh, you've won this thing, but you got to pay me money to ship it to you," which is wild. And I know friends that have had that happen to their channels, and then they end up getting viewers saying, I sent you money. Where's my gift?" And like, "What are you talking about? Like, you just, this happened a lot, I think 2 years ago or so. I thought it kind of had calmed down, but obviously scammers want money, so they'll figure out new ways of doing it. And I put in in my upload defaults at the time, I'd put in a whole disclaimer, and even some people made videos about it, but it doesn't matter because not everyone sees every single video. This is kind of the problem with this. You can make community posts and everything. You can do all those things. Inevitably, if you have enough viewers and stuff, especially people that are connected to you and really love your content, someone's going to get scammed probably, right? You just have to keep removing the comments, which is terrible because YouTube was doing a terrible job at it when this first happened. So it was kind of put on the creators. Do you remember all this, Jen? When all this happened?
Yeah. I mean, you can try to target words that will be blocked in the comments if you're seeing something. I feel like it's a tough one because they're not really anything like super alarming. Maybe even language like I don't know. I was gonna say like send. Like send me anything that's going to be like directly requesting information, but
I put like WhatsApp because that was something
that's a good one.
But they kept getting smarter and smarter and changing the wording.
That's the thing. Like you can do your best, but you can't save the whole world from being scammed.
No.
Yeah.
This is the unfortunate reality of being online. And so there's a lot I love, this is one of the things I love talking about when we're doing these episodes. It's just like all the things you don't know about having a successful YouTube channel and the things that come along with it. And this is one of those things where, especially if you really have worked hard and gathered a community that you really appreciate and you see they're getting scammed, you feel bad and like helpless and like, YouTube, help me. Like, what's going on? How come, why is this happening? Why can't you do anything to help? And they are trying to help, but these scammers are so smart. And it's one of the bad sides of having a successful channel. This is actually interesting. So what else can you think of off the top of your head, or even if you think about it, Jen, is a little unknown about having a successful YouTube channel? Like we hear about the good things, but it's like a bad thing.
In terms of like outside things, like coming in,
anything like, for example, maybe having less time with your friends.
Literally so many.
Yeah, well, name one.
Redoing your video 3 times because you don't think it's good enough.
There you go. You have to shoot your video 3 times because you're a perfectionist and a little bit crazy.
Actually, you want to know what? It wasn't actually about perfectionism. Because I'm very easy to like look past mistakes and stuff and be like, get him next time, Tiger. But
Tiger.
It didn't feel like it was me. I did not like how it came out. I don't think that I projected myself the way that I want to or feel confident in.
Hmm.
Like, it felt rigid. It felt like scripted. It just didn't feel like something that I watched and was like, oh, that feels good. And the creativity factor versus the perfectionist, because the version I did, there's going to be tons of mistakes in there too. But for me, it's not about that. It was just looking at it and being like, okay, that's not the kind of content that I make.
Yeah.
Which is something that is very easy to get caught up in as a creator. That's a downside of being on the platform. Like, you lose yourself as a creator constantly. You lose your personality, you lose your vision, your direction. You're literally just like your identity when you're constantly comparing yourself to other people.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I agree with this in so many different ways. And I remember there's been only a couple times, not a lot, but sometimes where I'm in the middle of shooting something and it feels so wrong in some way that I don't even want to say the words. And then I just stop. And I'm like, this isn't going to happen. And then I just stop and I don't finish it. I don't edit it. It's only happened a couple times. But if you ever feel that when you're shooting something, probably follow that feeling.
Yeah, like, it's not going to come out good.
Yeah.
Like, so there's definitely a lot of, I don't know if I would say like toxic behaviors when it comes to that, but there's a lot of time you're going to try to force something that's just not natural or how you would normally do something just from the way like you feel like you should do it.
Yeah.
Or a way even you're just like subconsciously influenced to do it just by what everybody else is doing. I feel like that weighs down, like that bleeds into so many different areas on YouTube in general.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, until you're there, it's hard we can say all these things. And then in the moment, you might recognize, go, oh, yeah, okay. I remember when Travis and Jen talked about this feeling. When you feel it, you'll know. When you're in the middle doing a video and you just feel like when you were a kid and your parents made you eat broccoli or you take medicine and you're like, it just isn't really, that's the feeling I'm talking about specifically. And it might be a good moment to stop and think of something else.
We're creatives on this side. Like, it has to feel creatively in the right direction. And if you just kind of feel like I would say paid actor, but not paid, an unpaid actor.
Yeah, right.
In your own show, the things are not lining up.
Yeah. Don't force it when you don't have to.
Yeah. No, you should watch back your content and be like, that's amazing.
So this is interesting. We briefly have mentioned this once before, but there is an entire episode. It might be two, but there's certainly one episode that you and I shot to completion and never released. And I know some people are like, really? Like, they didn't realize that. Or some people who had been listening for a long time might be like, oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. And why didn't we? So I think this whole, this channel specifically and the podcast itself, when I was brought on to do this stuff, one of the things I said is I want to do it with Jen specifically because I knew Jen was amazing, but I also wanted to do it with Jen because I respect her opinion on things, right? We don't always agree on everything. We agree on a lot of things, especially not Candy.
I fight all the time.
Especially not Candy. We definitely don't agree on that. But we have our quarterly fight, right?
That's true.
But I feel like, you also don't, I think sometimes working with someone who agrees with every single thing you say is not a good thing either. Like, oh, yeah, I agree. Yeah, you got it right. No, wait. I think
we balance each other like that. Like, neither one of us is just like, yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Yeah.
Do that. I like that idea.
Yeah. So that video that we did, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It's a good idea. And Jen was like, after we were done, I think Jen was like, I don't know if I feel comfortable with that. And we had a discussion about it. And ultimately, I think we both were like, well, I was like, I don't agree. And you don't agree. But we went with what Jen went with, what Jen's thought was, because ultimately I felt that my side of it was less rational about why I liked it versus Jen's feeling for why she didn't like it, right? So I had to take myself out of my shoes and go, are you saying that you like it because you think it's actually good or because you just like the subversiveness of it? And I was honest with myself and I'm like, I like the subversiveness of it. And what Jenn was saying made a lot of sense why she didn't like it. And I'm like, I can't argue those points. So, okay, we're not going to do it. So it is a video that never existed, or it exists, but you never see it. I think it's a really cool little thing that's in our history that most people don't know. And now people listening to this episode will know more about. But I think that's something that happens in your growth of your content creation career, if you want to call it that.
Absolutely. And it's not like a bad thing. Like, sure, it sucks. I mean, we took the time, we made that. It, you know, you put it all together, and then, you know, it never sees the internet.
But that's okay. Because
which is okay.
The thing is when I thought through some of your thoughts and rationalization of it, the other side of it is like, what could be the impact of this on the negative side of things if we release this? And there might be some risks in that. And I wasn't really willing to take the risk of the bad stuff just to get another piece of content out. And sometimes you have to think about that when you're making videos. Like if you make a commentary video about another YouTuber, this is very close to me because I had done this in the past when I was first coming up. Another larger YouTuber's commentary video, might not be slamming them, but you might be talking about them in a not like super positive way. You have to think about a couple things. Number one, what does that make that other YouTuber feel like? If you put yourself in their shoes, some other person makes a video about you that maybe is not flattering. Is that something you would like to happen to you? Is it worth the potential toxicity of getting into that subject on your own channel when you might be a positive channel overall? Is that worth it? That's something I've also had to deal with in the past. So it's the exact same situation. Yeah. And I, in thinking that, I was like, nah, it's not worth it. So think about that in your own content creation, no matter what you're doing, whether it be gaming or, how-tos. Maybe you do a how-to channel and you're like, you really hate a specific brand of tool. Maybe this screwdriver sucks, right? But what if you got a bunch of viewers that love your content, but love that screwdriver brand, and they see you dunking on it, and they're like, I don't like this guy. He hates my screwdriver brand.
He hates my favorite screwdriver.
Bro,
we would never be friends.
We will never be. I thought I was going to have you over for dinner. Now you like my screwdriver. Can't have you over.
So it's so true though. And I think it depends on how it's delivered through that. Like you could definitely be like, I don't like this.
Yeah, sure.
I say I don't like things all the time.
Of course.
I don't like Cadbury eggs.
I know, you said this. We're not getting the Cadbury endorsement like we were going to.
They don't even need to. We talk about them enough for free.
Right. Why would we sponsor you? You do it for free. Ah, damn.
Right? Which is fine to say, like, you don't like something. We have so many people who write in and tell us, like, that they love or dislike something. So it's done in a way where it's kind of this mutual shared like or dislike.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a way, like Travis is talking about, where it's a super negative thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're just playing off of, like, bad news getting good views, which is a really dark hole to go down.
Yeah.
Real dark, because it will work every time.
Yes. And it will drain you every time, unless you just are a sociopath who doesn't care about those things. All right. Next text message. Hello, Jen and Travis. My name is Jake, and my wife and I have started a couples channel called Jade and Jake. All right.
J and J, let's go.
Let's go, J and J. We have made 5 videos in the span of 3 years. I know that's horrible, but giving you all the context. We recently uploaded 2 new videos, and it still broke 100 views on a more edited video where we just sat down and talked to the camera. The problem I'm finding is while we're getting views and people love how I edit, they aren't subscribing. We have 35 subs now and would like to grow that as well as getting more views. What's the best practices to get people to stay and subscribe? Also, candy corn is not real candy. It's the equivalent of eating a candle, but at least they have different flavors other than gross. I agree with that last sentence, 100%.
Hold on. Aside from the candy corn situation
Slander.
Here, are the 2 new videos a part of the 5?
That's my question, because if it's 5 total and you have 35 subscribers, that's a lot better than you think. And even if they aren't, even if that is 7, to get 100 views on both of those after not uploading very often for 3 years is incredible. Incredible.
Also, did they just make the 2 new videos after like a year?
Well, if they have 5 in the span of 3 years,
things.
There's so many questions. But even contextually, even without that context, those are great numbers. Now, what they're asking is about the subscribe on that. You also have to take into consideration that very likely the vast majority of even those 100 views is people who watch those. That might have been the very first video viewers they watched. And most people do not subscribe on the very first video they watch on a channel.
Definitely not.
It's very rare.
That's crazy. That's like crazy.
That's psychopath behavior.
That really is. That's like, you know, doing the sock, tying your shoe, putting on your other sock and tying your shoe. That's that level of behavior. Travis, you over here doing that? Do I need to know things? You know, like you've never seen that thing where people put on like one sock and then put on their shoe and tie it and then put on another sock, and that's literally the same level of psychosis as subscribing to a channel. Like what a banger video you have to have if someone subscribes on like the first time they've ever seen.
That's true. And the other thing is there's utility channels. I've talked about this a lot that get tons of views but less subscribers. So for example, how to tie a tie. I mean, you get your answer and you're gone. You don't need to subscribe to Joe's tying YouTube channel, right?
I was gonna say, don't talk about Joe's plumbing channel. He'll come for you.
We subscribe.
He's gonna come for you again.
We've already talked about how Jenn is subscribed to the Joe's plumbing channel. So it's not abnormal, especially when you're first starting. Even if your videos are incredible for the first 5 or whatever, it's going to take time. It's going to take multiple videos and people seeing you multiple times to even subscribe. Of course, remind them, hey, if you're new here, or if you've been here before, subscribe. If you're new here, this is what we do, blah, 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 which you heard me say at the beginning of the podcast. I'm just telling people who are maybe just tripping in, hey, this is what we do. We talk about candy and YouTube. That way they know the expectation is set. When we talk about candy, they're like, well, they did tell me they were going to talk about candy. I guess that's a thing. Growing YouTube. True. Okay, cool. So they know. But I don't expect them to subscribe for a while. I do eventually hope that they would subscribe, or at the very least watch all the videos. I'm actually more interested in them watching the videos than I am subscribing, but I understand that like getting that number up is important as well.
I'm going to say something sassy.
Oh, please. I would love to hear it.
Why should someone subscribe if you're not putting out content?
There you go. Boom. Drop the bomb.
That's why you want people to subscribe, to be aware of you putting out content. If you're subscribed, it pops up on your home feed. You have your notifications on. If you're not uploading, what's the point of someone subscribing?
Yeah.
That's really just what it comes down. That's just what it comes down to. What's in it for them?
Let's get into this for a second. Why do people subscribe? Because I feel like that is a good subject for like the overall kind of talking about all of this, which is, why do people subscribe? There are multiple reasons. In some countries, they subscribe as just almost like a like, oh, that was cool, I'll subscribe. That happens a lot in India. They'll just, it's a different cultural kind of use of the button. Some people subscribe as like a bookmark. Like, oh, I remember this channel later. Let me just subscribe to it and then I can check it later.
Also true.
Yeah. And then some people, which I think most people only think about, is like, oh, I love this channel, I want to subscribe. But that's not the only reason people hit subscribe. So then the question is, how do you get them to subscribe? It's very hard to get them to subscribe. You want them to want to subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that? Well, good content, as always, as we always talk about, the great non-answer, which is, make great content.
Make good videos.
Make good videos. There's your answer. And then letting them know, like, what's the expectation for future stuff? If you're making cool stuff that people are going to want to watch, of course they're going to want to subscribe because they're not going to want to miss out on it. Although YouTube does a really good job of continuing to recommend content anyway. But
that's
what makes
I was
you
throw
subscribe?
In.
Yeah,
well, I was going to throw in, like, at this point where the algorithm is like, you could not even be subscribed to channels and you don't even know. If you're watching it, it's going to show up for you.
Yes.
And then you might have that moment where you're like, oh, I'm not even subscribed to that.
Which happens. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know because I keep getting the content. Yes. Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because we're prioritizing, viewer behavior. If you're liking something that you're watching, we're going to see more of it.
Yep.
But why do I subscribe? I personally subscribe because I want to see their content pop up on my feed when it's uploaded. If I'm not subscribed, I'm probably not being surfaced every new video that someone's making. They're probably more curated things. If someone's creating, say, even just 2 types of videos and I'm watching one type, I'm probably not going to see the other type with everything else that I'm watching.
Yeah.
That would be my assumption. I have no way to actually track.
You wouldn't know because you weren't served. So how would you know? You're not being served the content.
But I do subscribe to people because I want to see their content. I want to see, like, when I log in, like, recently uploaded and see the people that I enjoy watching.
Yeah.
And that might not surface to me for a couple days or after that goes out, even just in general if I'm not subscribed.
I rarely subscribe to channels, but I watch a lot of channels regularly.
Yeah.
I rarely subscribe because weirdly, a lot of times I forget that I'm not subscribed. As I've said before, I watch a lot on television, so it's harder to even see if you're subscribed. Secondarily, if I'm served all those videos, it never crosses my mind that I'm not subscribed.
True. And subscribing on TV is like a lot of buttons to click.
Yeah.
You have to like go up, go to channel, go to subscribe.
Yep. You got it's not awesome.
Like,
yeah, it's not awesome.
Okay.
But even like on desktop or whatever, if I'm being served your newest stuff all the time, I forget that I'm not subscribed. So this is the case with multiple channels that I watch regularly right now. And as a matter of fact, as I'm saying this, I'm realizing that there's channels that I watch all the time that I'm actually not subscribed to, but I see all their stuff. So that's a good thing.
When we see in our analytics how many people are not subscribed. It's
exactly.
Well, I shouldn't say always, but a lot of time it's like more than 50%.
Right. And with the number to really look at is how many people are watching on the subscribe tab, which is so low that it makes subscribing almost irrelevant. And again, this
is irrelevant. Let's talk about that. It is irrelevant.
Yeah, the number is it's easy. So and some people are probably listening that are smaller, like, well, it's easy to say when you have a lot of subscribers. True. If you have a lot of subscribers or have done it.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. So let's back this up. I think there's really fun milestones to hit when it comes to hitting subscribers.
Yep.
But as a culture on YouTube now, subscribers don't matter.
Yes.
Even when shorts were introduced, subscribers no longer even matter because shorts can give you so many subscribers so fast that it completely takes away from the meaning that subscribers used to have. Yes.
I agree with this. Yeah. I remember when I got my first 10,000 subscribers, I went to Etsy and bought a little YouTube plaque thing. A little blue. I still have it.
Oh my gosh. Wait, that's so sweet.
I could go get it. It's over there. Maybe I'll show it. But I was so proud of that accomplishment. And I remember that. I actually don't remember 100,000. Like, I don't even remember it. Like, what happened? I don't remember.
Remember the first time that I got 100,000 views, I cried.
Oh, is that when you got 100,000
views? I cried. I always went by views. The first time I got 100,000 views, I cried in a parking lot.
Really?
Yeah. I was literally so shocked and so happy.
Aww.
I just never thought like that would literally ever happen. I cried harder at 100,000 views than 1 million views.
Wow.
Because I think like you just get to a point where not that 1 million views isn't like holy crap.
Yeah.
It's just like my favorite moment as a creator was still when I had 1,000 subscribers. Getting monetized like that happened like pretty simultaneous for me. So it's not like I hit 1,000 subscribers and then
you had to wait. Yeah.
It was like 6 months or something later. Like it was very like at the same time.
Yeah.
So that was just like greatest day of my life. And then it was hitting 100,000 views and like nothing else
was as interesting.
What even came close. Because I feel like you hit that next level when you hit 100,000.
Yeah.
Because you have like 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. It's all like there and it's amazing. It should be celebrated. But then there's like that next level. And I guess you could say 1 million is like that next level too. But like 100,000 was just like, what in the world?
Yeah. And even to be honest, and we talked about this before, even trying to think of what 1,000 in person looks like is still weird. If you go to sporting events, you've seen 20, 30, 40,000 people on the thing. And that's astronomical. But even just be in a room with like 50 other people is, if they came to watch just you, that's amazing. Like you can make a career off that, going around and talking to 50 people all the time. You can do that. So I think sometimes we need to remember that the numbers are interesting and they definitely equate to real people, which is probably the more powerful thing. But everyone's numbers are different. And that first 1,000 was great too.
That's true. I remember the first video that ever hit 1,000 views too.
Oh, you
and
do?
I like literally, yes, I do. I literally couldn't even believe it.
Oh, my Jenn.
Right?
So cute.
Like those moments. Like I know all like small channels want to be at that level where they're like, oh yeah, like 1 million views. I'm always getting like 500,000 views on videos, but like I promise you, it's never, ever, ever going to mean as much as like those first moments of like hitting that 1,000. Even that video that first gets 100 views.
Yeah.
Like that's just like you can. I don't know.
That.
I will stand strong by like that doesn't compare to anything else because you just get number blind as time goes on.
You do.
You expect bigger and better things that you don't even celebrate them. Maybe that's like maybe that's a personal problem for us, Travis. We're like, oh my God, true. The numbers.
It's true. I've told this story before, but I'll say it again, and it matches exactly what you just said. There, once upon a time when I first started, I remember thinking, if a video gets to 100 views, it was successful, period, end of story. If it gets to 1,000, I'll never have to think about it again because it was so overly successful. It was ridiculous. And then later in my career, if I didn't get 1,000 views in the first 45 minutes, it felt like a failure, like an absolute
failure. Like you literally get so blind to what your expectations are. And it's not that you can't want that for your channel, but the way that you're like so hard on yourself about not hitting like such just, I don't know, larger expectations.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. But like when you're just starting out, like you have the opportunity to appreciate like every single thing so much more.
Yeah.
And yeah, we should make it like we have to go into our personal channels and like celebrate some type of level that we're at.
Again, I know there's
everybody
people out there going, a lot of people are going, oh yeah, but if again you've had the success, I haven't had it yet. I get it. I totally get it. I understand what you're saying. Trust me when I tell you, enjoy this moment because it gets a little better, but never is the same. All right, last message. This one is likely going to cancel Jen forever.
Oh boy.
Although I have a feeling she already knows this, but I kind of hope she doesn't because I think it's hilarious. All right, here we go. This is a text message. This message is for Jen. I'm a fellow vegan, and I'm 99.9% sure that candy corn is not vegan friendly because it contains gelatin. As a candy corn lover myself, gelatin. As a candy corn lover myself, I was depressed when I found this out.
I know it definitely does have gelatin in it, and I'm fairly lenient when it comes to gelatin.
Okay. Tell us why gelatin is not vegan friendly.
It's made of like I'm pretty sure it's made of like chicken feet and stuff. It's like all the like leftover parts of
Wait a minute, hold on for a second. Hold on.
Are you Googling this?
I'm going to right now. This is ridiculous. I want you to continue to explain how you've wrapped your head around why that's okay, and then I have some things to say to you after.
So there's also something that I eat that like very, very strict vegans. I'm not a like super, super strict vegan like that. But my dad is, so I know all of these fun things. Like the glaze, I can't think of what it's like, confectioner's glaze or something that's on a lot of like chocolates, like that clear shiny coat.
Okay.
Is made from I think it's beetles.
Oh.
Yeah.
What?
So that's made from an animal as well. So a very, very, strict vegan would not eat the confectioner's glaze or whatever the term actually is either.
Wild.
So there's like a lot of things. I personally don't mind.
She's like, look,
those situations.
But see, the thing is, she gets her candy corn. She's like, it's fine. I'm turning a blind eye to this.
It's fine. Like I can't say no. Sorry, chicken.
Let me read this. Let me read this. Manufacturers produce gelatin by animal bones, cartilage, and skin.
Yeah.
This may use the bodies of cows or fish, for example. The process extracts the collagen, a fibrous protein that connects the muscles, bone, and skin, and turns into gelatin, a flavorless, colorless, jelly-like substance. Okay.
Yeah.
But you won't have a chicken nugget. I see. All right.
Right. Like so different, so gross. Candy corn. I will say Trader Joe's, like all their candies vegan. It's all made with tapioca, which personally I like the chew better. Like I like really chewy candy. Like something you like bite into.
Like toffee?
No, not like toffee. Like, have you ever had like a fruit snack that's just like really like hard? Like you have to like really chew it.
Yeah.
I'm making it sound really gross.
It does make it sound kind of
like making it sound really bad. But like tapioca and gelatin are like very different textures.
Yes, that's true.
And I prefer like the tapioca ones just anyways because they're like just very chewy.
Oh. Well, now we've learned more about you than we probably ever thought we would. Thus ends another episode of
And Travis learned what gelatin is.
I didn't know. I actually did not know. And now I think you're a hypocrite now in some ways. I feel like you're eating the worst parts of the animal and I'm eating the parts that are reasonable. And I'm like, you're not eating the what? Okay, all right.
Oh my gosh, that's a hilarious way to look at it.
I mean, what's happening? You just the sinew and the bones and the cartilage, but you won't have a breast of chicken? Okay, I see.
It's so gross. Also, like, not that can be white sugar. Also, depending on where it's produced, like just regular white cane sugar can have like trace like animal bone.
I didn't know that, but I mean, when you think about honey, which is delicious, is basically bee throw up. It's like you kind of just.
I also eat honey. I love honey actually, which is crazy.
That doesn't.
But that's a very polarizing one.
I was about to say,
yeah,
that doesn't feel like it should be vegan unfriendly. It's not like the bee died into it. It's just part of the bee. They just don't want anything to do with.
People debate that very heavily or just make like a personal choice for what they believe in. But if something has honey in it, it won't be like registered as a vegan product.
If it has honey in it, it is no longer considered vegan. Is what you're saying?
No, it can't have like a vegan like stamp like on it or anything. It can't be.
Interesting.
I guess like legally, I don't know what they do. Legally, it comes from an animal, so you will be arrested. Oh no!
Oh, sorry, I'm back. Go ahead. Legally, what?
Struggling.
Yeah. My browser crashed for no apparent reason.
I said legally, you go to jail.
Oh, you go to jail. Oh, that's good.
You're arrested.
I'm glad to hear it. Okay. Now I don't even know if my camera's working. It might not be working right now.
It's not.
Yeah. So anyway, the good thing, it's over. The show is over. If you're looking at a black screen, that's funny. And that's how we're going to end it. Thank you for joining us. We'll see y'all in the next one.